Great to be out here finally on the practice field. For us as coaches, this is a day that we always wait for. There's so many times a year we're not allowed to work with them. When we get a chance to get back in training camp and really start teaching football without distractions, this is one of our favorite times of year. Great energy out here today. I think the limited things Brandon did, I was very pleased with how he looked. We sent him in about halfway through to continue to make sure we're doing what's right, to make sure he's ready to go for the first game. I thought a couple of guys stand out, and I think without the pads on, it's tough for the defensive players to stand out, although I did see 23 make a nice interception in the end zone to continue some of the momentum he had in the spring. But I thought number 4, number 13, number 7 on the receivers, Leonte, Colton, and Karan. I thought they had good days today. I think that showed up. I saw consistent catching of the ball and in some difficult body positions, I think, by Leonte. He really had some nice grabs in. And I thought both our punters at times hit it well, but I think they'll hopefully both be a little more consistent as we go through training camp. But for the first day, new teammates, new surroundings for both of them, I thought they did a good job, and they certainly have something that we could build on as we go through training camp. Questions?
What do you look to get out of the first day? You just want to see where everybody is conditioning-wise, health-wise?
I think you get a pretty good feel for how you are conditioning-wise when you start talking about the shape of the players, the weights and things like that when they come back. So I felt like our team was in very good shape. All the reports told us that. But the first day, I think, is a tempo setter. You want to see at how high a tempo can you perform through the practice. I thought our first practice last spring was a little disappointing when we looked at it in terms of how well we moved on the field and transitioned from drill to drill. Just the tempo of practice was not what I wanted it to be. I thought we were well ahead of that today. I was pleased. I think you're always going to have the freshmen that are still finding their way a little bit, but I thought the returning players really moved around the field as if we'd been out here for a little while already, so that was good.
Kyle, were there any guys that you took a quick look at, like a Maluski or anything, just to see him on the field, or guys that you're curious just to get a quick glimpse of?
Nothing out of the ordinary, nobody that I was focused on. I figured if David didn't jump out to me, then he was probably in a pretty good place, and that was the case today. I certainly saw him out there. It's tough to miss him with the long hair, but it was good to see him out there. I think he told me 21 months since he's been out here on the football field, so this was a big day for him.
You mentioned Ian Thomas earlier. Are you confident with him as a starter right now?
I am. I'm very confident. I think he is a very talented football player, and he continues to learn the position. Now, there had to be some growth between the end of spring and now, but that growth had to happen with his teammates, and it looked like it did. Like any other young player who's never done it before, the greatest challenge is not making a play, it's really being consistent over a period of time, and that's what we'll have to judge as we go through.
From spring to now, can you sense a change in the sense of urgency since it's camp?
There's
the game's 4 weeks away.
There's no doubt. I thought the first offensive unit was much more crisp today than even we were at practice 13 and 14 last spring. I think there's no doubt there's a sense of urgency with them. It's really tough to judge the defense only because there's no tackling, there's no contact unless there's an interception. And the one by 23 was the one I saw today. I don't know if there were others we catch on film, but unless you see that, it's tough to really judge it, although I did think they ran to the ball well. But that's something we've done here for a long time.
Kyle, what kind of role do you foresee for TJ this camp and this season?
TJ is going to do a lot of things for us. He's already a very established player on the special teams, somebody that makes a difference in games on special teams. And then we'll have to see where he fits in the depth. He's fighting for a starting job, and that job could be at corner, it could be at safety, it could be as the third player at either position, it could be on the second or third level in some of our sub packages. He's a smart football player, so there's a lot of places where he can fit in and help us.
Kyle, even though it is one interception on the first day, is what you see from Ian in that sort of snippet, is that sort of what gets you excited for seeing him in a starting role?
He has tremendous ball skills. I think that has shown up over and over again, and it even showed up today on the first day. His ability to make a play on the ball at the point of attack in air, that is a very valuable commodity at that position. So now, again, the challenge, young player, has not been asked to do it in games. Can he do it over a sustained period of time?
Kyle, does Toller's familiarity with Dave Cohen and with the system allow him to come in as more of a senior, as more of a leader than a guy who's first day with his new teammates?
I think the leadership will happen over time. He's played a lot of college football, Division I football. I don't think that will happen or not happen because of his relationship to Dave Cohen. I do think there's a familiarity with the way Coach Cohen coaches, and that will allow him, I think, to progress a little bit quicker than maybe somebody who didn't have that kind of familiarity. And certainly it was part of the attraction, I think, of us having a need, his familiarity with the defensive coordinator, I think both of those things made it a pretty good fit for him and for us.
What makes you like having TJ possibly over at safety rather than corner?
Just the ability to get a better athlete on the field. And I think you see that all the time. Even I think Coach Belichick has done that with Devin McCourty from time to time. You take a person who's recruited or drafted to play corner with that kind of skill set, and if they have the ability to play safety, which I think TJ does for us, it gives you a guy probably maybe is a little bit better cover player than you would normally have at that position. But again, those are things he's going to have to prove to us on the field, in practice, in scrimmages over time to figure out where his place is going to be in that second half.
I know it's the first day and you're still looking at stuff, but could you see yourself going to a freshman on punt returns?
I could. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think if a player proves to me that he will catch the ball on a consistent basis, and I've seen him do it in high school, and I think you saw that today with number 1. He was very natural back there catching the ball. I would not have any problem playing a freshman back there. The nice thing today was not only did we punt the ball a little bit better, but I thought we caught the ball much better than we did in the spring. So I thought it was better on both sides. I thought Karan Pratt caught them well. I thought Miles caught them well. I thought Janarian Grant, number 1, caught them well. So it was fun to watch. It was a good part of practice today.
Kyle, I get it's one practice and a lot develops, but Kamoko playing linebacker right now, what was the decision on that? Because I know he was recruited as a DN type of deal.
We thought of him as a hybrid, and we thought he could be a guy who not only could play defensive end, but could also be in coverage, a little bit like George Johnson years ago could do. And George actually intercepted, I think, 2 or 3 balls over the course of his career. And we thought he was that kind of athlete. His skill set as a basketball player would lead you to believe that he could do those types of things. He's a very explosive athlete. So right now, we're really trying to figure out exactly where he's going to fit in the defense and if it's going to be this year or not. So that was the place we thought would be the best place to start him. Will he finish training camp there? I'm not sure of that yet.